Hello and welcome to Nationwide on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. We are reaching you live from Abuja. I'm Ayodeji Makinde. We'll bring you reports across the country as our correspondents capture stories of governance, politics, development, security, and the everyday resilience of Nigerians. Thanks for joining us. We'll begin with our first report, and that is in Italy, where President Bola Tinubu is currently participating at the Akaba Process Heads of State and Government level meeting, which is underway in Rome. Following the technical meeting on Tuesday, the heads of state and government are meeting this Wednesday at Italian National Gallery of Modern and Contemporary Art. The meeting, a counter-terrorism initiative of King Abdullahi II of Jordan, launched in 2015, is taking place in the Italian capital this time with special focus on the security crisis in West Africa. This edition recognizes the complex security challenges confronting West Africa, including the expansion of terrorist networks, the growing crime terror nexus, and the increasing overlap between land-based terrorism in the Sahel and the maritime piracy in the Gulf of Guinea. The meeting will discuss ideas on how to coordinate efforts to counter terror, combat online radicalization, and disrupt digital networks that facilitate terrorist propaganda and recruitment. In company of the Nigerian president for the meeting are the Minister of State Foreign Affairs, Bianca Odumegu Ojukwu, National Security Advisor Nuhu Ribadu, Director General of the National Intelligence Agency Mohammed, among others. The federal government and the power generation companies, GENCOs, have finalized an implementation framework for the Presidential Power Sector Debt Reduction Plan. A statement from the Office of the Special Advisor to the President on Energy says the intervention, the largest in more than a decade, addresses a legacy debt overhang that has constrained investment, weakened utility balance sheets, and hindered reliable power delivery across the country. Beyond clearing arrears, the debt reduction plan signals a strategic reset of Nigeria's electricity markets by restoring the financial health of power companies, enable new investments in generation capacity, modernize grid infrastructure, and deliver more reliable electricity to homes and businesses, creating a stronger foundation for industrialization, job creation, and inclusive economic growth. All parties had agreed to conduct bilateral negotiations to finalize full and final settlement agreements that balance fiscal realities with the financial constraints of the generation companies. The generation companies describe the initiative as significant in every respect, as it gives them renewed confidence in the reform process. Approved by President Tinubu and endorsed by the Federal Executive Council in August 2025, the plan authorizes the issuance of up to 4 trillion naira in government-backed bonds to settle verified arrears owed to generation companies and gas suppliers. Let's move on to legislative matters. The Nigerian Senate is making a push to tackle sickle cell disorder as it seeks the establishment of sickle cell disorder and therapy centers in the 6 zones of the country. The aim of this proposed legislation, sponsored by Senator Sunday Katun, is to improve data collection and research, as well as support education and assistance for patients.
It's something that will try to find succor for those who are suffering for this unfortunate ailment, which they inherited from their parents.
Nigeria is identified as the epicenter of sickle cell disorder, as half of the annual 300,000 newborns with sickle cell are in Nigeria. Meanwhile, Senate has confirmed appointees of President Bola Tinubu. They are Professor Yusuf Muhammad as Commissioner representing Northeast in Nigeria Law Reform Commission, as well as Mr. Louis Odion and Omusalma Isiaku Rabiu as Executive Commissioner of Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Agency. In the meantime, the House of Representatives has resolved to investigate the abandonment of a modular refinery in Brass, Bayelsa State, after $35 million have been committed to the project by the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board. Adopting a matter of urgent national importance by Representative Billy Osawaru, the House mandated its committees on petroleum resources, midstream and downstream to probe the deployment of public funds for the project without visible results.
This House is very concerned that despite this huge investment of $35 million, which is more than 50 billion naira today, and enough to fund fundamental components of the national budget, the proposed modular refinery that was to be known as Atlantic International Refinery and Petrochemical Limited was never set up.
It appears today that we're a nation that will not only eat our profit, but will also eat her investment. This sector is the economic nerve of our country. That is the oil sector. Attempts have been made to continue to improve this sector, but you find out that those of us in public office appear to be setting this country back.
The House also highlighted alleged local content violations by oil and gas companies in Imo State, including perceived insensitivity to the plight of host communities.
Establish functional operational offices within their areas of operation in Imo State, as mandated by Section 3J of the Act 2010, thereby denying the state by valuable economic activity and employment. To urge the oil and gas companies operating in Imo State to urgently comply with provisions of Nigerian Oil and Gas Industry Content Act 2010 regarding indigenous employment, contract awards, and establishment of operational offices. Also engage in genuine dialogue with host community leaders to address grievances and ensure peaceful existence.
The House resolved to invite the affected companies and relevant agencies for investigation. Moving on from legislative matters, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, has called on Nigerians to unite against efforts by foreign interests to undermine the nation's unity, saying a united front is required to protect the country's image against false narratives and contrived misinformation. This was when the minister received a delegation from the National Open University of Nigeria, led by its Vice-Chancellor, Professor Olufemi Peters, in Abuja on a courtesy visit. The minister emphasized the importance of collective responsibility in addressing the spread of fake news and misinformation, noting that false narratives have far-reaching consequences on national unity, peace, and Nigeria's image.
Indeed, all of us know the role of the National Open University in ensuring that some of our young men and women who ordinarily may not have a placement in other conventional university systems have found the National Open University a very good place for them to pursue their education. This goes a long way to show the seriousness, the commitment with which the university attaches to the learning environment in this country.
Our performance track records in running these centers have won many of the centers grants and sponsorships and donors, and they are highly rated among similar peer centers globally. Honorable Minister, we want to assure you that TVLive is not going to.
The Nigerian Association of Medical and Dental Academics, NAMDA, has debunked reports suggesting it is on strike. In a statement by its National Liaison Secretary, NAMDA urged members across medical and dental colleges to continue normal academic and clinical activities without disruption. The association reaffirmed its commitment to dialogue with relevant authorities, expressing confidence in the efforts of the Minister of Education, Dr. Maruf Olatunji Alausa, to address its demands. NAMDA also warned particularly vice-chancellors, against applying the no work, no pay policy to its members and called for a conducive work environment within colleges of medicine. Now, NAMDA is a registered trade union, and that is the Nigerian Association of Medical and Dental Academics. It is a union of medical and dental lecturers in the universities, and members are not taking part in this ASU strike. With me in the studio is Dr. Mohammed Adamu Askira, the National Liaison Secretary of NAMDA. You're welcome to our studio. Now tell us, what has informed the decision by NAMDA not to join the ongoing ASU strike?
Thank you very much. Actually, NAMDA, as you rightly said, is not on strike. And the reason why NAMDA is not on strike is not because we don't have our demands. We have our demand series of demands which we presented to the federal government through the Minister of Education and Ministry of Labor, and honestly, we have started a constructive engagement with the Minister of Education, Dr. Maruf Tunja Alausa. And to be honest, in our engagement, we were able to actually solve some issues, pressing issues concerning welfare of our members promptly, and some issues we are still engaging constructively and meaningfully to see how we can review the condition of services of medical and dental lecturers in Nigeria. And the minister, in our constructive engagement, in the spirit of the renewed hope agenda of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he has even granted us what we have long been looking for. Actually, we have been demanding for our members to be paid on the commerce platform, which has been already, directed by the minister, that all medical and dental lecturers should be paid on the commerce platform. And also we have a demand that our lecturers that are having postgraduate fellowship should not be forced with an obnoxious circular that they must acquire PhD for their career progression. That issue has also been constructively addressed by the minister promptly. And we also have our arrears of 35-25% arrears for the month of, for 7 months in the year of 2023. And the minister immediately made frantic, consultation with relevant authorities and put in mechanism to see that the arrears for 25-35% for medical lecturers has also been put into line so that it can be paid with immediate effect. Actually, the minister in our engagement has given us a reason that there is now a kind of renewed platform in the Ministry of Education where there is a meaningful engagement and also a reasoning, purposeful leadership that is pragmatic and willing to solve our peculiar problems of medical and dental lecturers in Nigerian university.
All right, Dr. Skir, okay, well, let me just allow you to land on this point that you're making. Go ahead, please.
We are not averse or against any union seeking for welfare of their members. But what we are calling for now at this juncture, the gesture shown to us by the Ministry of Education, by the minister, which is pragmatic, purposeful leadership, we are also calling on him to extend such a platform to ASU so that they can constructively engage themselves, so that we can come to a situation whereby we can have industrial harmony in the health in the education sector. What we have been failing to do in Nigeria is that there are two sectors of our democratic economy that we have to invest adequately and properly: education, health, and security. If Nigeria can truthfully, adequately, and squarely invest properly in these three sectors, all other sectors will fall in place and Nigeria will be propelled into prosperous, economic glamour in the coming years. So we are calling on the minister, the gesture he has shown in our constructive engagement, to also call on ASU. We know the leadership of ASU, fortunately, is also a medical doctor. We know they can come together and they can constructively engage, and amicable resolution will be reached, just as we have reached with NAMDA. But the message we want to make clear to Nigerians and to the world is that medical and dental lecturers in our universities are not on strike. And we are calling on government to make sure that as our members go about their legitimate duties with professionalism and patriotism, they should not be subjected to harassment, they should not be subjected to intimidation by anybody. We are ready to work constructively to actually propel Nigeria into glamorous prosperity. This is our main target.
Dr. Muhammad Adamu Askira, the National Liaison Secretary of NAMDA, I'd like to thank you for giving your insights and clearing the air that members of NAMDA are not participating in the ongoing ASU strike. And we expect a peaceful and quick resolution of your ongoing discussions with the Federal Ministry of Education. Thanks for your time on Nationwide.
Thank you.
Let's leave Labour matter and go over to this story on the continent. Kenyan President William Ruto has announced 7 days of national mourning and a state funeral for opposition leader Raila Odinga, who died at 80 years while on a trip to India. Raila Odinga was Prime Minister of Kenya from 2008 to 2013. Uche Oguchukwu's report on this particular story would come in our subsequent bulletins. Also, President Bola Tinubu condoled Kenya over Raila Odinga's passing, praising him as a towering figure in African politics who championed democracy, justice and unity. He described Odinga as a statesman, freedom fighter and advocate for inclusive governance, noting his legacy will endure. Tinubu expressed solidarity with Kenya during this difficult time. And our first port of call on Nationwide will be our Lagos Network Center, where the next set of reports will be delivered by Adeola.
Ayadeji. Respected as community icons, traditional rulers have significant influence over their subjects, making them instrumental in disseminating crucial messages. That is why the federal government is engaging royal fathers on the Nigeria Data Protection Act. Engino John Adams reports.
Data plays a vital role in informed decision-making, efficiency, and problem-solving. With over 200 million Nigerians whose personal data are consistently shared, collected, and processed, safeguarding this information is imperative. Records show that over 65% of Nigerians reside in rural communities, and the Nigeria Data Protection Commission NDPC is leveraging the influence of traditional rulers to create awareness on data protection.
What we've done is to actually translate the law into our 3 major languages, Igbo, Yoruba, and Hausa. And what other institutions can we use to touch them than traditional institutions? Now we have spoken to them, they have also given us their piece of advice on what we can do.
The National Commissioner and CEO of NDPC urges data controllers and processors to implement robust measures to ensure that people's information remains safe.
This is one aspect of governance that the federal government of Nigeria, under the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR has put in place to ensure that the freedom, the rights, and interests of all Nigerians are protected where they are, even including legal residents in the country.
The royal fathers are poised to convey the message to their various communities for safer data handling practices. In Lagos, Hingino John Adams, NTA News.
Nigeria is prioritizing Goal 17 of the Sustainable Development Goals to further strengthen her pursuit for socio-economic development through consumer protection and compliance with standards. Larry Gbeleyi reports that key players believe the move is crucial for assessing both regional and international markets and the adoption of global best practices.
Of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, which Nigeria is implementing in every facet of our public space, talks about collaboration and partnership amongst developing and developed nations. And this speaks to the economic aspect of the global situation that we are in now. And this means that every product that is made from one country to another must be up to the acceptable standard. To demonstrate the importance of collaboration, stakeholders in the manufacturing sector came together, reiterating their commitment to ensuring Nigerian products do not fall below the acceptable standards through strengthened partnership.
We can also domesticate existing global standards, the ISO standards and the ASO standards, to suit the peculiarities of the Nigerian environment. So in doing that, we also require and need our stakeholders to come together and discuss and agree and in a consensus manner come up with the standards, draft standards for approval by the Council.
Industry players say with the trade and finance of many nations now being globalized, improving international cooperation and fostering partnership among government, private sector, civil society, local and international organizations becomes one of the tripods the nations need to stand on. In Lagos, Lanre Bilayi, NTA News.
We're done with a contribution from Lagos. Nationwide will continue with Ayodeji in Abuja after the break.
You're welcome back from that break. Time now to cross over to the Plateau, where Mary in our Jos Network Center takes it up from here.
Ayo, thank you and good evening. Welcome to Jos. 500 women in Plateau State have each received 50,000 naira as grants under the Renewed Hope Initiative RHI and Tony Elumelu Foundation Women Economic Empowerment Program. The initiative is to boost small-scale businesses in the state. Ijoma Ozemena reports.
The Renewed Hope Initiative, in collaboration with the Tony Elumelu Foundation, officially launched the Women Economic Empowerment Program with a flag off performed by Nigeria's First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, represented by the wife of the Plateau State Governor, Mrs. Helen Mutfarm. The program targets 18,500 women nationwide, each receiving 50,000 naira to support and expand their businesses. Beneficiaries express appreciation to the Renewed Hope Initiative and the Tony Elumelu Foundation, describing the support as a timely intervention that will strengthen their economic activities.
As a person with disability, such assistance go a long way to build our business.
I'm into business of wrappers. It's going to help me. At least with this, it will increase my business a lot. It's going to help me. I really appreciate her. May the Lord bless her.
In a message to the event, Senator Oluremi Tinubu emphasized that the grant is a seed of renewed hope to empower women and help them recapitalize their businesses.
This economic empowerment program is about supporting the entrepreneurial spirit of our women traders and small-scale business owners who wake up each day determined to provide for their families, educate their children, and uplift their communities.
The Women Economic Empowerment Program is being implemented across the 36 states of the Federation in Jos. Ijoma Ozemena, NTA News.
Eye experts in Plateau State are emphasizing the need for regular eye examination to avoid visual impairment. This was during a sensitization in Jos. Ndayang and Debagyang has details.
This awareness is to sensitize residents on the need for regular eye examinations in line with the state government's drive to promote quality health care and reduce cases of vision impairment. The work brought together eye care professionals, students, and some stakeholders. State Eye Dex officer in the ministry stressed that most cases of visual impairment are preventable if people seek medical attention early.
We will be doing eye care, free eye screening there, and the medications will be given for those who need it. Glasses will also be given.
The awareness highlighted government's efforts in strengthening eye care services across the state as the ministry reiterates commitment to reducing avoidable blindness through public enlightenment, partnership with development agencies, and improve access to primary eye care facilities.
We have made significant strides in improving health services and increasing access to quality eye care.
In Jos, Indenyan and the Abuja, NTA News.
And that's our contribution from Jos. Ayo is still standing by in our Abuja studio. Good evening.
Thanks so much, Mary. With the launch of the Maternal and Neonatal Mortality Reduction Innovation and Initiative, MAMI, by the federal government, Nigeria is upscaling the quality of maternal healthcare delivery, aiming at drastically crashing maternal and neonatal mortality in the country. Enugu State has keyed into this initiative with a 30-man task force to implement the plan. Susan Eze reports.
Over the years, Nigeria has battled high maternal mortality rates, recording about 1 death in every 200 live births due to pregnancy-related complications. The Maternal and Neonatal Mortality Reduction Innovation Initiative, MAMI, is an intervention plan fine-tuned to address the combination of factors that expose women to risks in pregnancy and childbirth.
We develop a context-specific solution that will help, the state to crash, the figure of maternal and neonatal mortality for the state.
Drawing down this initiative into the Enugu State Health Sector Framework, a recent week-long co-creation workshop by the State Ministry of Health saw the inauguration of a 30-man task force that will see to the actualization of the initiative in the state.
What we intend to do is to ensure that we increase the uptake of medical service availability and medical service delivery.
For now, the focus is on the local government areas with the highest maternal and neonatal mortality figures. In Enugu, Susan Eze, NTA News.
All right, I will stick with Enugu there, where Susan will now tell us more about this particular issue of maternal and neonatal mortality in the state. Well, there's a task force. Tell us more information about this development, Susan.
Thank you. The Maternal and Neonatal Mortality Reduction Initiative, MAMI, was launched last year, 2024, and in Enugu State, it was launched last year. It was launched last week, and it was launched in a program that lasted for 5 days. And in that program, the participants brainstormed and came out with a document, an implementable document that will help the committee, the 30-man committee that was set up to actualize that program in Enugu State. And then that program for implemented in 3 local government areas where records have shown that they have the highest burden of maternal and neonatal deaths in the state. And those local governments are Oji River, Iweze North, and Isuzo. But nationally, the program is going on in 172 local government areas in 33 states across the nation. And this program in Enugu State, according to stakeholders in the health sector, completely aligns with the health sector agenda of the present governor in the state. Because before now, the state has taken up some initiatives that will put the facilities and supporting infrastructure that will see the acceleration of this program. For instance, in the states, across the states, there are 260 type 3 primary health centers going on, and staff are being recruited to see that there are skilled personnel that will run this program. So all in all, participants and stakeholders in the state are optimistic that this MAMI program from the federal government will align with what the state is doing and will come out successful. So, going by this report, it is a brighter future for pregnant women and their babies in Enugu State. So that's the situation so far in this program in the state. Going back to you in the studio.
Thanks so much, Susan, for that update. Of course, we expect on the statewide acceptance of this initiative to reduce maternal and neonatal issues out there. Thanks so much again for your contribution. In a related development, a massive immunization campaign targeting about 4 million in Bauchi State is part of Nigeria's efforts to reduce child mortality rates by introducing the new measles rubella vaccine. Bulak Afsa has detailed reports on this crucial step to safeguarding the health and well-being of the nation's younger generation.
The National Health Demographic Survey (NDHS) of 2023-2024 indicates that 37% of children in Bauchi are zero dose, with 13 out of the 20 local government areas classified as zero dose local government areas. The report further states that 204,692 children have received the first dose of the pentavalent vaccine. Immunization is a right of every child and key in maintaining good health among children under 5. Bauchi State have so far received about 4 million doses of the vaccine ahead of the integrated measles rubella campaigns.
The campaign is starting from 18 of this month to 29 October this month. It includes the measles vaccination, measles and rubella, and also we have the routine immunization that is, we are giving at the facility and the community. Is part and parcel of this campaign. And also we have this human papillomavirus vaccine.
The campaign is poised to ensuring that no child is left behind. In Bauchi, Bulak Afsa, NTA News.
Right, we're not done with Bulak because we need more on this routine immunization as it concerns measles rubella vaccine campaign in Bauchi State. And of course, efforts to ensure that no child is left behind by stakeholders. So Bulak, let's have more on this.
Thank you. Ensuring that every child is immunized is key to ensuring that we have a healthy community and households. With me to talk about routine immunization is the health officer of the Bauchi Field Office UNICEF, Mr. Patrick Ackle. Could you please give us a brief overview of the situation of routine immunization in Bauchi State?
And so far, from January to date, to September, to the month of September, the total of 277 children, 227,667 children have been vaccinated with pentavalent vaccine, looking at the first dose of pentavalent vaccine.
What are the strategies on ground to ensure that no child is missed in this new campaign?
All the states in the federation are going to introduce the measles rubella vaccines across the LGAs, across the world, and we have a target of children we are targeting to cover from the age of 9 months to less than 15 years. We have a target of 3.7 million children which should be vaccinated with measles rubella vaccines against measles rubella diseases.
Immunization saves lives of children from diseases, from defects and deaths. Is back to you in the studios. Thank you.
We appreciate you, Bulak in Bauchi. Back here in Abuja, a Nigerian sculptor with a decade of experience in the craft has gifted the Nigerian Television Authority NTA a sculpture crafted from royal stone with the organization's logo. This gesture, he explains, stems from his profound admiration for NTA's unwavering dedication to fulfilling its mission across Nigeria and beyond.
Village. And I've been seeing NTA taking time to go to rural areas to gather news. In fact, I've been watching NTA for years, and the epitomic hard work of NTA, I say, let me demonstrate it on a stone sculpture, because stone sculptures are sculptures that are highly durable. You know, stone cannot get rotten, stones don't decay. As a present to them, and I know that when it is kept, many generations will see it.
We assure you that we are in support of your field of endeavor, and we are going to give you all the necessary support that you may need in the future. NTA is a home, and we are ready always to partner with you in any area you think you will choose.
Director General of the NTA, Salihu Abdulhamid Dembels, represented by the Executive Director of Administration and Training, Fatuhu Mustafa, commended the sculptors' efforts and pledged support to foster more vibrant artistic platforms that will contribute to national development. Well, the sculpture, which took over 6 months to carve, was locally produced to enhance NTA's aesthetic appeal, symbolizing strength and devotion to public service. Now, to ensure citizens' participation in the forthcoming governorship election in Anambra State, the youth exploring different strategies to educate the indigenes on the need to come out en masse to cast their ballots for their candidate of choice. Let's join Onome Okadigo, who will be telling us modalities they believe will reduce voters' apathy.
Thank you so much. The situation here in Awka, the Anambra State capital, they've been having series of town hall meetings. Traditional rulers have met with their subjects, and the youth, of course, are working assiduously to ensure that people come out en masse come November 8, 2025, as they have produced prototype of the ballot paper so that the indigents can practice on how to thumbprint, so that on the day of election they will minimize invalid ballots. And non-governmental organization here in Anambra State have been having series of training, town hall meeting, educating the populace on their rights and how to participate in the upcoming governorship election.
Well, thanks so much, Onome, for that insight. And of course, we expect to see a massive turnout of voters to cast their ballots for the candidate of their choice. Thanks so much again for your contribution.
Thank you.
All right, let's move on from Anambra State and tell you that the Nigerian Reputation Management Group, NRMG, has called on citizens to recommit to values of honesty, accountability and integrity as the country commemorates the inaugural Nigeria Reputation Day observed on October 15, 2025. In a statement, the chairman, Yomi Badejo Okusoya, describes the day as a moment of reflection and renewal, a time to recognize one of the nation's greatest assets, its name. The NRMG emphasizes that rebuilding Nigeria's reputation requires more than institutional reform, demands restoration of trusts, strengthening of character, and living with integrity while identifying 5 core pillars for building and sustaining a positive national reputation: consistency, transparency, responsibility, respect, and excellence. The group urges all Nigerians both at home and in the diaspora to join the hashtag Better Reputation, Better Nigeria Challenge by committing to daily acts of integrity that inspire others and strengthen the nation's moral fabric. Highlighting Nigeria's cultural influence, the NRMG also introduced what it calls the M Factor, 5 key drivers of the country's global soft power: music, movies, media, minds, and fashion. Together, we can build a nation that commands respect, attracts opportunity, and reflects the greatness that lies within us all, the statement adds. Right now, let's cross over to the northeast of the country in our Maiduguri Network Center. And Abubakar takes it up from here.
Certainly, Ayodeji, it's always good to see you. The Progressive Governors Forum is holding its quarterly strategy meeting with information commissioners from APC-governed states hosted in Maiduguri, Borno State, to consolidate shared values and push the boundaries of the Progressive Congress to greater heights, with a firm belief that through strong collaboration, there will be indeed light at the end of the tunnel. Umar Jimbarima completes the report.
The gathering is graced by the presence of the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, Borno State Governor, represented by his deputy, Omar Usman Gadafur, the Sheikh of Borno, the Director General of the Progressive Governors Forum, and the head of major media organizations, including the largest television network in Africa, NTA, and the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, information commissioners from all APC-governed states, among other key stakeholders, are also in attendance, united in the mission to achieve the forum's strategic objectives. Minister Mohammed Idris commended the leadership of the ruling party from top to bottom, highlighting the exemplary governance in Borno State despite the challenges of insurgency, and emphasized the need for strong grassroots collaboration to ensure continued national progress, and confidently assured that Nigeria's victory under the ruling party is inevitable.
We must refuse to amplify the terminology of our detractors. Instead, our messaging must be proactive, grounded in verifiable facts, and focused on the reality of our ongoing efforts.
We salute Your Excellency's sterling performance and the warmth with which you have received this gathering of progressives.
Our journey, marked by the education of communities, the construction of schools and health facilities, and the revitalization of our agrarian economy, stand as a narrative of hope restored.
An award for leadership excellence was presented to Professor Babagana Umar Zulum, recognizing him as the most outstanding governor for making the APC proud both nationally and internationally. In Maiduguri, Umar Jimbarima, NTA News.
Away from issues that have to do with politics for now, from here to tell you that Borno State Ministry of Works and Housing has embarked on an oversight visit to assess the progress of ongoing capital projects being executed across Maiduguri. The inspection team was led by the Commissioner for Works and Housing, Mustafa Gubiu, alongside representatives of the State House Committee on Works and Housing. Here is Angarju Anagawa with the rest of the story.
Key construction sites under the state government's infrastructure development program visited by the team included the Shehu's Palace guest house, where the ministry is constructing a block of 4 semi-detached 2-bedroom flats designed to serve as guest accommodation within the royal premises. The team also inspected the dual carriageway and drainage construction at Kaswan Shanu and expressed dissatisfaction with slow pace of work, noting that the 4-month project has exceeded its completion deadline.
If the contractor did not make the necessary correction, we have nothing less than instruct the commissioner to stop that one.
At Alansari University along Gubio Road, the team evaluated the construction of a 400-seater capacity auditorium and lecture theatre, complete with offices and laboratories, where the site engineers briefed the delegation on the design and implementation process of the project. The delegation further visited the rehabilitation and complete assault overlay of Pompomari Bypass Road, expected to provide a smoother and safer transportation corridor within the state capital. Attention was also given to the construction of roads and drainage networks along the industrial hub along Maiduguri Kano Road opposite Kashim Ibrahim University.
We are honestly contented with the level of progress we have seen. His Excellency has a very committed activity in transforming the life and people of Borno State.
Before assessing the progress on the trailer park and the 6-span bridge across River Ngada, the visit rounded off at the construction site of the 9-span flyover bridge at Post Office area, one of the administration's most ambitious projects. In Maiduguri, Angarju Anagawa, NTA News.
You're on to Nationwide. On the Nigerian Television Authority, Ayodeji in Abuja shall return with more reports for us, but that will be right after this break.
Thanks for staying tuned. Former Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, has charged serving military officers to remain steadfast in their loyalty to Nigeria's democratic institutions. General Buratai gave the charge during the decoration ceremony of newly promoted officers to the rank of colonel in Abuja. He urged them to intensify their efforts in contributing to national security and stability.
Loyalty is very, very key as a military officer. You must remain loyal. Democracy must be sustained, must be maintained. Whatever the challenges, I believe the same democracy will solve it.
Your performance in your defense college and your aptitude to work will determine your next rank and the subsequent rank to the rank of Major General. So as we rejoice here today, do have it at the back of your mind that a lot is expected from you.
With the promotion now, that means more effort. We are going to redouble our effort, and by God's grace, we will achieve the Chief of Army Staff's command philosophy.
He also emphasized the importance of continuous personal development, discipline, and adherence to the core values of professionalism and integrity, urging officers to remain exemplary in service to the nation. Okay, let's talk about the filmmakers where to develop a Nigerian film industry that is globally competitive. Professionals and enthusiasts have converged in Abuja to brainstorm on how best to position the Zuma Film Festival that fosters an environment where creativity thrives and economic opportunities are created. Glory Agbo reports that the Nigerian Film Corporation, in collaboration with the FCT administration, organized a press conference on the 2025 Zuma Film Festival aimed at elevating standards.
The Nigerian Television Authority and the National Association of Movie Producers, the two are strategic partners working on a promising note of mutual interest and development of the entertainment industry. Now the filmmakers are seeking for the largest television platform to supply homegrown content and encourage growth of domestic talent, while the host, on the other hand, is committed in sealing the deal for better days ahead. For the two managements of the NTA and NAB, Comrade Saliu Abdulhamid Dembos and Desmond Otomwen, the passion goes beyond familiar handshake to working in progress and prosperity of the film enclave.
We're also looking forward to the possibility of having a full production.
As we're coming with our own ideas, coming with yours, we'll sit down and see them and maybe come up with a final idea to say how we can add value.
This collaboration marks a significant step towards advancing the Nigerian entertainment landscape on a national and global scale. In Abuja, Abubakar Akwanga, NTA News.
Well, that report actually was by Abubakar Akwanga on the role of Nigerian Television Authority in mentorship in filmmaking and its role in production as one of the best in the country, as the National Association of Movie Producers paid a courtesy visit on the management led by Salihu Abdulhamid Dembos. That's the size of our package on Nationwide. I'd like to thank you for your time for watching. I'm Ayodeji Makinde. On behalf of the entire production crew, enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.